anyone else just look at Wolfen just spinning in his chair a little bit? Or is that just me?
I'll be right back.
Alright, well, I just turned it on, so hello and welcome back. And Carr will be welcomed back, and probably won't be welcomed. He'll be back in a moment. We've had a grand adventure in the desert thus far. A bunch of weird stuff, typically, as was to be expected from the desecrated lands that is the Badlands. We found our way through both magical visions and, like, the returning of what seems like repressed memories to this location crested at the top of a hill where this big bowl is, filled with a bunch of crags and caverns. We come into the bowl, and we get onset by a swarm of ghouls that just came out of every little crevice that there ever was. Had a little bit of a life loss kind of mishap that kind of undid itself through some divine means. Made our way into the actual tunnels that were in the crags. Come upon this huge, long, extremely smooth, board-looking tunnel that didn't look even like mined. It wasn't like chip marks. It was smooth, like polished marble. Level of smooth, cut through. We found one little natural cavern off to the side. Popped in there as a couple of ghouls, and then right here at the beginning was the Ghoul Emperor that we had entered its lair. And the walls and dark energy tried to sap the life out of everyone as you kind of made good work of the few ghouls that were there, even though they were trying to barricade you from getting to their emperor. He did a couple of things that were pretty terrible.
He almost zombified the bitch.
Yeah, but you persevered, and we're just looking over some loot at the end before continuing on. So let me first start by getting us all on the same literal page. Get us on the image here. This is our map. We were in the bottom right, and on that pile of bones that the Emperor was used as a throne, where he pretty much went back to after you kind of harried him a bit, and he tried to block off with ice while he tried to recover a little bit. Managed to make your way in, kill him, and then we've got on the party sheet I don't know. I still don't know what that chest is. I don't know where that came from. Empty. So if nobody wants it, I'm just gonna carry around a large chest. I'm going to go ahead and delete it.
Yeah, I have no idea where it came from, honestly.
And then we have, so we had the Crown of Quickening and the Minor Rod of Alertness.
I think we were leaning towards giving the crown to Carr. And then the Rod of Alertness, I'm not sure if anybody could use it.
We can sell the crown.
You want to sell the crown?
Yeah, we can use it for kerosene bombs, or maybe to get something else. It was I'd have to look at it again. It uses like a bonus action, right? And I have a lot of things that's already on a bonus action. And that was still counting against spell slots, so I just feel I would make myself useless quicker.
The other thing it did was let you cast more spell levels during your turn. which
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
gotta-
uses a charge. So if you have an attunement slot open, it may be useful
Mhm.
that way.
Yeah, it's got.
Until
I
you
mean,
get
I-
something better.
I can wear it until, later. Not like we can sell it in here anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's got a-
exactly.
It's got a nice free action, and then the bonus action is optional.
And I was kind of leaning that way with the Rod of Alertness too. Like, if nobody wants that right now, I could take it because I have a free attunement slot and just use it for scouting.
Sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and since you could, you will have to hold it in hand, so you'll have to do some finagling with the swapping around on how you switch to immediate combat or whatever. But I don't think that's too big of a burden to figure out for getting advantage on perception and the ability in the detects, as well as advantage on initiative. So
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of thinking, like, I'll mostly use it for scouting when I'm not in combat, and then when I am in combat, it's not going to be in my hand. Like, I'll have sheathed it or whatever, put it in my belt. But yeah, there's some nice perks on those things, so it would make sense to me to use them until we find something that you'd rather have.
seems quite reasonable. All right, so okay, we kind of split that up. Was there anything else we wanted to do while we were in the throne room, so to speak?
How's everybody doing on health?
Steam looks a little rough.
Do we want to see about taking a short rest or something before we check out that other side tunnel, maybe?
I don't know. I think anything we check out should send our best stealther through and maybe not quite rush in until we have more of the lay of the land. Maybe this was the biggest bad in here, but I don't know.
I have a potion of healing or two that I could spare.
I have a few potions.
Okay.
If we're able to take a short rest, we can attune to those items and roll some hit dice as well.
I'm not actually using that. I just changing the way that I track that thing. I'd already used it before.
Yep, no worries.
I wouldn't mind scoping out a little further, but this is opposite day because I'm usually the one who wants to sleep everywhere. But we do have some rooms, so I'll do whatever the group needs.
Do I actually fit down that other tunnel? Just across the hall there? Or is it too tight?
It would be a pretty extreme squeeze. Like you being one of the light and agile of them all would actually be able to fit. But you would have to. I mean, you'd have to scrape and squeeze the whole way. Steen and Carr would not make it. At least not without some kind of assistance. Very likely.
Would it be a case of it's such a tight squeeze I would only be able to focus on really getting through it rather than trying to do it quietly?
Oh yeah. There would be no.
Yeah. Okay.
There'd be no. You just wouldn't have control over anything. So it's just whatever was happening as you were squeezing through would be all that you had.
What about like Lumo or Bijou? Would they be able
They're
to
both
go through and still stealth?
Yeah, they're both smaller than you are, so think... I think even on a level, like, I mean, obviously you're not going to be walking, like, shoulder to shoulder across through it, so you'd be I think even them being smaller and sideways, I think stealth would be a difficult thing, at the very least.
Okay. I'll mention that to them, that there is this other tunnel across the way that would be a very tight squeeze. And I can try and take a look, but I can't guarantee that either anything would be able to, if anything on the other side would probably detect me, and it would be very difficult for me to get through it.
Well, I would totally vote against it. No reason to separate the party.
Bijou at least has dark vision if she wanted to check out what's in there. Just sort of the same thing as why we checked out this side, is I don't want anything to be able to flank us that we don't know about.
But do you want me to go by myself?
I don't want Bijou to go by herself.
It would be just to take a look, just to see what's in there, if anything. I would
I'm sure it's
do it
just mice
myself.
and spiders. Small space.
Does it go up or down? I mean, can you tell by just being at the entrance? Just wondering what the purpose of this little tunnel is. If it
So the bore goes down, like the big wide swath that's cut right into this rock is at a pretty steep down, like 30 degrees down, something like that, all the way to the end of where our vision went.
When I was at the entrance of it here, was I able to like smell anything? I don't remember if it was like a ventilation shaft or something.
There was you could definitely hear the like kind of the air. That was one of the things, is there was actually a rustling of air sound. But as far as smell, we didn't really kind of do that. So if you're at the beginning, you want to roll a perception here. We'll see. Let's see if you can't waft some vapors.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, and then picked up my torch on the way back out. So
Quite good. Yeah. So yeah, you kind of sit for just a few moments here at the entrance, and you can hear that you can very clearly hear a faint but obvious sound of, like actual air moving. You can even feel, like, as you kind of sit there, you can feel just on like your cheeks and ears a little, just that a faint amount of air moving through this area out that way. And then as you try to inhale several deep breaths to see if you can smell something, you get a very musty kind of scent coming from there. Even almost not just in a cave, but like if you go underneath a house, and there's that kind of musty dirt smell, even sometimes like fungally kind of smell coming from that direction.
Okay. Smells like wet basement. I'll tell the group. And the air was coming from the tunnel or going into the tunnel?
Yes, I have that perception. You can kind of figure that out. It seems like the air is going out of that tunnel.
Okay. What do you guys want to do?
I'm sure it's just bugs and stuff that way. I think we should just go forward.
We could possibly try to improvise, not really a trap per se, but like a string and tin cans, the equivalent of. So if anything came through, it would make some noise.
So like a trap, but not to harm it, just to alert us.
Yeah. Steen, do you have any expertise in this? Sounds like a survival thing to me.
I'm more about caves. This is more man-made. The air vent could possibly literally just be air.
I have some string.
I have some empty potion bottles. We could maybe set them up like some sort of chimes or something.
In a very Home Alone style.
Yeah.
The glass Christmas ornaments under the windowsill.
Probably want
Legos.
to cover it with some
Right.
kind of sand. I'd assume anything here would have like night vision, dark vision, or whatever. So
I rummage around, pull out a spare shield. We just cover it with this.
Well, if you cover it, will it be able to actually make enough sound?
Good point.
This also doesn't keep anything that can crawl on the walls from triggering it either, or from avoiding it. I mean.
Oh, rummage around, rummage. Pull out a scroll. I have a scroll of grease. I could grease the hole to make it hard to climb up.
Oh, like grease the walls?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, here's my string. I don't know how to set up some chimes.
Oh, I can probably do it. This sounds like a trappy, roguey thing that I should know how to do.
I'm just kind of hanging out in this corner, trying to just listen both ways for anything while they do that.
Okay, so if I were to take this stuff and try and set it up like a sound trap, just an alarm sort of thing, would I be able to use my thieves tools proficiency to set that up, or what would that be?
That's a good question. To improvise a trap. Let me see what. It's kind of the other way around.
Because I'm just thinking, this isn't disabling a trap, this is setting one up. So
Yeah, so I think here's the way I would think. Because obviously you have some proficiency in disarming traps. You have from an intellectual standpoint of what traps actually do. So I would say I would let you roll intelligence-based thieves' tools proficient kind of check on the best way to set it up. And then I don't think the thieves' tools are actually going to help you physically do it, though. So for an execution, maybe just I was trying to think. Maybe with what you've got, you have an idea of the best way to kind of go about setting this up to work. And then so secondarily, let's do a whether you want. Now you could direct someone else to do it, but I think setting it up would actually be survival oriented. So you could instruct someone else how to do it, or you could try to set it up yourself. But I think this would be a
Okay, I'm not actually that great at survival-y kind of stuff, so if somebody else was better at that sort of thing, I would probably prefer to instruct them. So if anybody has survival proficiency, or at least
I do have yeah. Yeah,
I'm
plus 8 in
about-
survival. And
Okay,
it was
awesome.
wisdom.
yeah, so I'll help him set that up then.
So me do a survival roll.
Yep, go ahead.
Does he get advantage on it because I'm helping him?
Yeah, with the instruction, I think so.
Good. Well, kind of a little better.
Nice instruction.
It's not a particularly difficult task. So you feel like, it could be better, but it'll do. Any regular thing kind of comes stomping around, it's going to make enough noise that, within a decent distance, the echo will be pretty obvious.
Okay, now from what I remember from last time, the hallway to the right with the torches in it, there were some voices coming from that way.
That's right.
And on the left, there was a door with a symbol of Asmodeus, right?
That's also right. And then up, there was another natural-looking tunnel up above as well. And that's what you could see.
Right, okay. So what do you guys think? Should we deal with the voices first?
Maybe since we know there's people down that way, we should just sort of explore elsewhere. What type of voices? Are they common beast sounding, or do we know?
I don't think I was able to make out any words.
No, she could just hear the actual stuff. Just the actual sounds. Wasn't able to make out the words themselves. Like down a long hallway around a corner. Is more like a little bit of a murmur more than actual like conversation that she could hear. Although there was one like every now and then kind of an emphasized, like almost like if you were listening to something, you'd hear like a clang or some kind of note or something that set itself apart from the others, but it was still too far away to actually hear what was being said.
Was that kind of a rhythmic thing? Like, could I ascertain from that maybe it was some sort of chanting or something?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It is definitely more like if you were across the street and down an alleyway from a boisterous tavern. Just all the stuff going on, and then every now and then you could hear one thing maybe louder above the others, but still not discernible directly.
Right, okay. Did you want me to try and go further down and see if I can figure out anything else from that?
To the voices?
Mm-hmm. Like, what if that's Lumo's people are down there?
Well, we know there are people that way. Why don't we all just go?
I cast guidance on Izzy. So it's a +4 for ability check.
Thanks.
We can
D4? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can kind of stay somewhat behind, but I would like someone stealthy just to maybe check it out.
Yeah, just a little bit ahead of everybody else, kind of like we did the last tunnel. Okay, I'll start sneaking down that main side tunnel here then.
And I'll stay back here with my torch.
Okay,
Trying to use kind of whatever flickering shadows from the torches to stay hidden as much as possible.
So as you kind of make your way a few feet in, okay, so let's, before we go any further, let's just at least get some vision, kind of what you see. So as you're moving forward, not far past the torchlight, you can see that it kind of opens up a bit.
So that's a 16 for my stealth.
Okay, so, alright, so that'll be the stealth moving up to the direct torchlight area. And so I think once you pass into the torchlight area, it's gonna kind of be like a new ball game when it comes to the stealth thing. So
Right.
as you pass the torches, it'll be stealth with disadvantage again here in a second.
Okay.
As you make your way forward a little bit, you see just the very glimpse of the edge of a bunch of bedrolls. Just the edge of, like the bottom edge of what looks to be kind of like a bedroll, and then it's kind of just barely outside of your vision at this point.
Okay. Before I move more into the torchlight, can I just wait here for a second and listen and see if I can discern anything more about the voices that were there? If they're still making any sound?
Alright, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a perception with advantage. From your vantage point. Okay. Yeah, so now you can actually hear the one that was seemingly standing out more than the other comes from further up and around. So there's somewhere further down, there's got to be some kind of major bend of some sort. And it sounds almost like, a command kind of thing. So how long are you going to sit here and listen for to hear perhaps like maybe what you hear?
Not too long, maybe just like a minute or two.
So one thing you're hearing a bunch of rustling. It sounds like you saw just the edge of one of those bedrolls, and from somewhere, maybe even a little bit closer, but around on the left side, instead of the right side where you heard, the barking voice. On the left side, you hear, it sounds like, the best description would be like a table flip, but with cloth. Like you hear someone, like linens being kind of tossed around, and a bunch of rustling, as though like perhaps like a search kind of thing is going on, a pretty aggressive search at that.
Okay.
The orders, so if you sit for a minute or two, you hear that the louder, more dominant voice ask, "Have you found it yet?"
They're looking for something. Okay. I'm gonna take a glance back to see if the others are ready to follow me.
It can be.
So it looks like most of them are kind of around the corner, back the other way.
Okay. I just catch Car's eye around the corner, and I just give him a little like wave forward, and then I'm going to. If it sounds like the voices are coming from the other side, I'm gonna.
It sounds like there was a left and a right, so to speak. So, like, much closer on the left, around like a bend or corner or something. That's where you're hearing all the rustling and the searching. And then, like, much further up and around to the right is where you heard the command from.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and keep myself flat against this wall that seems to be closer to the closer voices.
Okay.
And just kind of very carefully and slowly ease my way towards the corner so I can kind of peek around while hopefully the others are kind of slowly coming up on the other side behind me.
I give everybody a little and kind of motion them this way.
Oh, yeah, the corner is right here.
Stein hanging back.
And as you move up to right under the light, go ahead and roll another stealth with disadvantage. Okay, that's still probably pretty good.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay as close to the wall as I can to try and not cast any shadows from these torches.
You see as you kind of move up to this position, you see that there is a whole bunch of bedrolls, and these look not great. Like, they're kind of like prison cell looking kind of bedrolls. You know, just tons of them all lined up against the edge of a row. You see in some kind of tattered robes a couple of very scrawny, almost malnourished looking figures just tossing bunks. You know, like, you know, peeling back, you know, open up pillows, you know, they're not even just at this point, you know, just looking under stuff. They're opening things and like cutting into stuff looking for something.
Human?
Yes, human. Definitely kind of like super thin, emaciated looking, and you can hear that there are some even, you know, around the corner. There's more of that going on, and it seems even further up there's more of that going on. But you can see these two doing it right here.
Okay.
The acolytes are doing it on the bed.
So I'm gonna pull my dagger, and just behind me, I'm gonna hold up 2 fingers so Car knows there's at least 2 enemies. And then they're kind of facing away from me, or just preoccupied with the bed and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they've got like short little knives, like, I mean, not even like daggers knives, but like little pocket knife kind of things as they're digging open into.
Okay, I'm just gonna ease up towards the corner a little bit and peek around to make sure I haven't missed anybody in the immediate vicinity. Still as flat against the wall as I can get. Alright, I'm gonna hold up 4 fingers, and then flash my dagger and go around the corner. I'm gonna gank this first guy.
Okay, well then let's roll some initiative then. Let's change the tune right away.
I point back at Bijou and Steen. Give them the it's on look.
Oh. Wow. Look at that.
Oh,
Oh,
shit, we're
damn.
all dead, Steen. Why did you do that?
Limo rolled a high initiative too.
Yeah, but he's not known for his Will Wheaton initiative rolls. You're
Well,
our
it could have
rock.
been worse. I could have rolled a 20.
Thank God for small favors.
Not a real 20 because it's an 18. So, see? Even more help.
So these guys are all human. They're carrying some little knives. Do they look like they're wearing robes or?
Yeah, these acolytes. I mean, it's very tattered robe. They're almost. I mean, if there was anything to describe them by, you would think that they were slaves more than anything. Very, very poorly treated,
Oh.
emaciated looking.
Are all these guys going through the beds, or any of them in just like in the bed?
No, they're all. That guy had commanded, for them to find it or whatever, and they've just been. I mean, they are literally tearing apart their own beds or somebody's beds, looking for whatever it is that he.
And these guys are human.
Yes.
Okay. If they're striking me as slaves, that may change a little bit what I intend to do.
Tattered robes, emaciated, but they are in some kind of robe. Yeah, it's like in shreds, dirty. I mean, they're not. It's not a chain gang, so I mean.
Yeah, the robes they're just rags, right? They don't look like the kind of things that the cultists were wearing in the vampire's lair or anything like that.
They look like they were.
Like they used to be?
Like they used to be. Very simple. Like even some of the markings on them are very similar, but what would have been relatively pristine, no longer the case.
Okay. All right. I'm still gonna run in. And I'm actually going to try and grapple the first one. Basically, what I want to do is I want to come up behind him, hold the dagger kind of to his neck, and just go shh.
Okay, so so you're gonna run up to the first one. All right, so you kind of have the surprise round, so to speak, before the true initiative starts.
And I guess it's a athletics check to grapple him.
Yeah, go ahead. The others, so like you go up and you grab this one, you put a knife to his throat. The others are so focused on their task that they don't even look up from the beds. They don't notice you at all as you do it. And this one, so you kind of, so you're, knife to throat and up around it. It almost seems very strange that it's not even really surprised that this level of threat is happening to it.
Okay, I just do that like shh, just to let him know, be quiet or this is gonna get bad.
You can see that he just tenses up immediately, and then he kind of turns and looks at you. You know, like at first, like I'm looking.
I'm just gonna quietly ask him, tell me who you're with. Are you a cultist, or are you here against your will?
You just see him kind of like his eyes kind of going back and forth, like he's really thinking hard. As like the eyes are up and kind of off to the left, is like not really sure how to answer that at first, and it's I'm at his will. It is what was commanded.
Would you choose to serve him if that choice was given to you?
There is no choice. He comes. No one will have a choice.
I give you a choice. Freedom or death.
You must be confused. It's okay. All the new recruits are a little scared at first, but you pass the trial. The Emperor let you live. You'll see soon. It's okay.
I slit his throat.
You can see like just a moment of like somewhat shock, kind of his eyes pop open just a little, as but then also, you know, a little twinge of relief as you can see the life fade from him as he just falls over dead.
And that's probably my turn.
No, she does it 4 more times.
Yeah.
You can see that Acolyte 7 like just heard like a little bit of the gurgling kind of, you know, a little bit of sound as the Acolyte died and kind of fell below. And then you can see like his eyes like dart off to the left, kind of like looking at you. And then you can see he's like even more furiously like digging through stuff, trying to find in the bedroll, thinking that perhaps the one to his left got killed because they weren't searching hard enough.
Okay.
Alright, so I guess we start off with Lumo at the top. On whatever. Like, he's not really. He's pretty far back. A little unaware as to what's happening, perhaps.
Yeah, but he runs like 600 things a move.
Well, that's true, but I mean, just as far as more like being on the uppity up of what's happening here. Assassination.
Yeah, I would have tried to send a message back to Steen and Bijou, but I don't know if Lumo would have got it.
I'm going to look at this tunnel and see if I can find any halfling marks that you're finding in other places.
No, there has been, as far as the, like the main cavern is smooth. Like, I mean, polished, smooth. Very eerily so. Definitely not any down the little corridor, the little natural corridor either.
And I'm just going to trot on up. See what's.
You would see me a little more, like, ready to move, so you should probably be able to tell something's up.
And that's how Lumo walks into any dangerous situation. Just saunters on in.
You see that this acolyte is again just kind of like tossing its eyes to the side, like very skittish now, as it's been furious. I swear I'm looking as hard as I can look. I don't see that damn key anywhere. It must have stolen it. A little further in the room, you can see several more acolytes.
I was gonna run in and hope to hit something, and there's nothing here. Oh no. Good old dash action.
I'm gonna hold a hand out to Scene for a second. Just wait. And I want to use my panache feature.
Mm-hmm.
On Acolyte 7. As an action, you can make a Charisma Persuasion check contested by a creature's Wisdom Insight. Would he be considered not hostile to me right now because he seems to think that I belong there right now?
Now I think that his skittishness is treating everyone as kind of like he feels extremely threatened. I mean, his perception is different than your perception as far as the reality of what a threat you may or may not be, but he's pretty sure you're a threat.
Right. But he's not like moving to attack me, right? The reason I'm asking is because there's a difference in this ability whether they're hostile or not. Because if it's hostile to me, it's a attack roll sort of situation. Whereas if it's not hostile, like not looking to attack me, it's charmed instead.
Yeah, I think for this particular situation that I think you could consider it non-hostile.
Okay.
For the definition of that ability, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Almost
so,
charmed through intimidation, if nothing.
Yeah. So this reads that if you succeed on the check and the creature isn't hostile to you, it is charmed by you for 1 minute. While charmed, it regards you as a friendly acquaintance. This effect ends immediately if your companions do anything harmful to it. So basically, what I want to do is kind of gesture to the one that I just killed and say he was a fool, but I know that you are more dedicated to the cause. Are you sure you know what you're looking for and what makes you think it was stolen? So I have to make a persuasion check.
Okay. Yes. Excellent. I can beat that. And yeah, so he is definitely affected on those lines. So you asked specifically
If he
what did you ask one more
knows,
time?
yeah, if he knows exactly what it is he's looking for, like would he know it if he saw it, and what makes him think it was stolen?
We're looking for the key. It was in the leader's dresser, but it is gone. After what
said-
happened in whatever happened in there happened, we must get to. And you see him just kind of shiver a little.
Well, I just say, you said you thought that it stole it. What makes you think that? Why would it take the key?
They don't believe me, but I've seen it. I think it's something the Emperor made.
And what did you see?
It was 1 minute it was ghoulish. It was there. And then it changed. It became like mist, and then for a minute it changed its shape. It was small. And then it changed. And then it flickered out. And then I couldn't see it. And then I swear I've a couple of times I've seen like a pair of eyes like under a doorway that were you don't understand, under the doorway, and then they back.
Why would such a thing need a key?
It's not the only thing gone missing.
What else do you know?
The other acolytes just think that they're taking it from us. All of our money, all of our shinies, anything we had, little bit by bit, it would just go missing. Punishment. That's what they think. We're being punished. But I think it's that thing. See it. Always looking in drawers. They don't believe me. But I swear I've seen it.
I'm gonna slowly walk over to him, like no sudden move. And kind of like stroke the side of his face and say, "That's good. You were right to share this information with me."
You believe me?
Should I not?
No, and it's... Yes, yeah, I mean, yes, you should... No, you should believe me. It's, I swear, I swear.
Okay. I think that's probably good for the end of my turn, I guess. Yeah, because that was an action, so yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. Does any of that sound like anything we've seen before? Like some sort of mist monster? Vampires turn into mist, but
Or amorphously changing shapes, or...
yeah.
Not really. Not... It doesn't sound very familiar. And yeah, that's the best. That's the closest thing. Is there's the misty vapor that you saw when things died. It would come out of it, just some kind of energy or soul or something. I mean, who knows exactly what that was about. And then the vampire turning into mist. I think that's the closest thing that you've heard of. But all the things he said together, I don't think it matches what he was saying.
Yeah. So just so I understand correctly, it sounds like they've created some sort of monster out of a ghoul, and that they're collecting all of the acolytes' precious possessions for some other purpose. Is kind of what I got from that, right?
Well, he said that's what the acolytes think, is that the leaders or whatever were just taking it as punishment. But they're missing. That's the
Right. Okay.
okay. So this one seems to have a little more resolve, a little more of a backbone than the other two. This is the snitch. Sir? They're the new recruits. I don't think they're looking like they're supposed to be looking. And then you hear from around, further off, down and around to the right. You hear, there wasn't supposed to be any new recruits today. What the hell are you talking about? Get back to work! But, sir? They killed one. And it's Bijou's turn.
And I just ask him what's going on and let Car fill me in.
How much of those conversations will I have heard?
Standing there, you kind of got definitely the commander's voice, and then the snitch, but the kind of soft whispered conversation that was going on with Izzy. I don't think anybody but her and the person she was talking to was going to pick up on that. They're a little closer now. Yeah, all you would have heard is the new recruits are here, and they killed one, and then the other guys, the very much commander sounding voice said shouldn't be any new recruits today. Get back to work.
Okay. Don't panic. I'm not going to kill everybody. I was kind of worried about our stealth being blown. I'm casting silence right there. And then sort of give a finger over my mouth kind of thing and draw out a circle in the air just to let whoever's around me can see me that they know there's something going on in that right there.
As you kind of walk up, you can see, you can see a good, at least the first half of the room pretty easily. You can see the acolyte who is standing like a little straighter backbone, and you can see Izzy standing right next to the other one, kind of like whispering in its ear. You still see her hand kind of brushed up against the side of his cheek. Looks like she's doing her thing. And then the acolyte that was turned backbone stiff, like actually was kind of like barking, he was snitching, so to speak. You see him sitting there just still jabbering, but nothing, you don't hear anything. Nothing's coming out. So with the silence up, see that this acolyte kind of bolts upright and starts looking around like, what the hell just happened? And then you can turn and you can kind of see some people off to the side, and he turns as though he goes to say something, and then moves his hand in a particular gesture to like thrust out forward, and then nothing happens as there's no sound coming out of his mouth. And you can see like he's just like a couple of times like thrusting, like maybe I did it wrong, kind of thing with his hands. And then he just starts jumping up and like flailing his arms around. These two just tearing away at the bedrolls. I don't know what the hell's going on. So from around the corner, you can still, some sound is going to come around. It's going to be kind of muffled a little. You can hear aggravated kind of yelling. The leader from around the corner is going to yell out, "I did not authorize anyone to use any spells in this activity." The silence will fade. And then the 18 that was up and flailing around, you see a golden whip come out, form nearby it, and just lash out at it. And then this golden weapon looks very similar to something that Carr makes, but is of a different type. As the golden weapon lashes out at the acolyte, killing it instantly. Now get back to work, or every one of you will look just like that one.
Okay. On my way running, I'm going to question Carr. Do I go in punching?
Not the guys by the bed, but person of interest around the corner.
Alright, well, I can get to there then.
Okay.
I will ready light bolt if for whoever comes around that corner.
All right. So you hear the leader around the corner yelling again. I swear, if I find whichever one of you hid this, you will wish that you had died as fast as that one. You will spend days on the altar. Days! And he's gonna continue. Sounds like he's thrashing some stuff around the corner as well. Still somewhat oblivious. So you see this bedroll's kind of torn to shreds. Acolyte's gonna come over to the drawer and he's just gonna pull one drawer out, toss it on, just kind of toss it onto the floor and just start rooting through piles of clothing.
I'm going to take a different tack with these acolytes than I normally would.
Okay.
I'm going to turn and look at them, and I'm going to try and make some sort of persuasion here. So I'm going to turn and basically, hopefully, through force of presence, I'm just going to start talking at them and see if I can convince them to switch sides. So I'm going to turn and say, you have a choice. They have taken everything from you and offer only agony, torment, and death in return. I offer you life and freedom, strength and camaraderie on the side of the light. I offer you a choice. Choose freedom or choose death.
You see, several of the acolytes just kind of turning, like, what the hell is going on here? We're getting killed one by one because we're not finding this key. Who is this person? This is a test. It's gotta be a test. It's a test. Roll persuasion.
Okay.
Yep.
Just straight?
Just straight. It's pretty persuasive.
This guy beside me is still charmed, so I'm hoping at least I can get him.
Wow. So, there were 6 rolls that I did. I did one for each that you can, and not a single one of them rolled over 40 on a D100, and one of them rolled a 1. So on the D100. So okay, the guy next to you, he's smitten, for sure. Combination of intimidation and tenderness at the same time just has him all confused. He's Twitter-pated. Whatever you have in mind has got to be better than this. It's got to be better than the suffering we will all endure when he arrives. Acolyte 7 is considered friendly. Acolyte 1 rolled a 1. And in so doing, he says, "You're right. Won't be their snitch any longer. Rather suffer eternity in hells than the hills that will be this earth." As he takes his little knife and he cuts his own throat.
Not quite what I intended, but okay.
He could quite possibly be a cult leader of some sort down the road. This is pretty persuasive. Drink the punch, they said.
8th is convinced that this is a test. This is... Don't look at the side, don't look away, just do your task. Maybe you'll survive till tomorrow. Number 11 rolled an 11, oddly enough, and is considered friendly. Acolyte 14 seems like this is so indoctrinated, so ingrained in whatever religion and following that this earthly body is meaningless. My sacrifice means everything as long as he prevails. And you see him turn in defiance, making an aggressive stance, moving in your direction. And then Acolyte 4. Acolyte 4 is knee-deep in clothes, choosing to ignore everything. Like, everything.
I see nothing.
I see nothing. I hear nothing. There's nothing going on. Yada, 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 la, 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 la. Okay, and that's all of them.
I'm just gonna move a little bit further into the room in kind of a confident manner to try and match this one that's being aggressive, and then I think that's going to be the end of my turn, I think.
Is this a decently lit room?
It looks like the only source of light is these two candles, or these two torches right here at the entryway.
These are humans and they're searching bedrolls in the dark?
The light, the dim light.
Okay.
Around the corner, though, it plunges into dark.
So what you said, 7 and 11 are friendly, right? 7-11.
Yeah, the combat tracker, their color should have changed.
They're green now.
Okay, sure. Great. I'm gonna throw my torch.
You have a torch?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he said he was going to light a torch earlier.
I picked my torch up.
That cult leader just like laying back in bed yelling at everybody.
No, he's not laying in bed. But he himself was actually searching these beds as well.
Torch is Tasso. And I'm going to...
Okay.
move around this way to get a better look.
Yes, he's gonna get a star for that, by the way.
Because she is a star.
See, Bob's soul just died. It's marvelous. I give Steen a star for that. Come on.
Yeah, this is a test. This is only a test. I'm gonna continue to dig. Let's see if I'm gonna move over and start digging into the next bedroll. You can see this acolyte. When he talks, it's like there's something wrong about his tongue. It sounds almost like the tip of his tongue has been cut off or something when he talks. So it's a very strong, like, kind of lispy talk. What would you have me do? What would freeze us? And you can see he's definitely just kind of looking at Izzy with hopeful eyes.
Wants guidance.
I just reach out to him, kind of to beckon him over towards me. And I just say, come to safety. And I try... he's probably out of movement, but I'm trying to get him to kind of come behind me.
Yeah, he's gonna dash over and cower behind you, almost like up against you, and kind of hunker down.
I can't really see that guy down there from where I'm at. I'm just going to ready a sacred flame towards anything that makes an aggressive move towards one of my friends.
Okay. All right, so this one. So this one's gonna take a makeshift club, kind of from around his belt, and he's gonna dash over, with the club kind of raised high. For Asmodeus!
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Oh, he failed that. Yep.
This is so good. Just the dice are so good with the story right now. That's awesome.
he dashes on over, and he basically gets nuked as he's like right on his last step as he's going forward, and his charred body kind of falls, and he tries to swipe with the club just as he's falling over dead, missing. Not even close. Not even close to close.
He chose death.
Let's see, Acolyte 7. Mistress? Command me.
Do you know any magic?
We were trained as simple acolytes,
Can you
working
heal?
the temples. Yes, mistress.
Heal my friends then. Yeah, heal those 2 hit points.
Top of the order. Well, this is interesting. Court leader went first last time, and last this time. Pretty good in your favor. So Steen and Izzy can see. It's a tiefling. In immaculate robes. And on those robes looks to be a ton of little eyes that are moving independently.
That's freaky.
He's wearing a beholder.
Yep, Acolyte 8 is still convinced whatever the hell's going on is a test, and he is not taking any part of it.
So I come around the corner, and as soon as I see that guy, I'm going to launch a guiding bolt at him.
Okay.
And next person who attacks him gets advantage, so go get him, Steen.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Wolfen is nothing but a beanie and eyes. Literally.
Well, if this thing ain't paying attention to me, I'm gonna pay attention to it. I don't know if I disconnected my shields last time. I'm sure I did.
There's two good dice
Nope,
over there.
and green flame blade.
Yeah. Green flame blade. Okay.
What?
Except
Oh.
that's not
Not
that.
green. Yeah. Wait. White.
Okay, learn to buttons.
Well. Okay. He's gonna take down from the shield then, because he just took fire damage. So. And I missed.
Okay.
I swear I'm sober.
I quickly just squeeze the hand of the guy behind me and say, defend each other, and then I'm going to start running towards the cult leader.
Mhm.
I think I'm just out of throwing range here, so I'll be at disadvantage, but I'm gonna attack him with my dagger.
Okay.
They don't have like a 30-foot throw range?
It's
Oh no, that
20
says
foot.
that does say 20.
Yeah, I think you're actually. I was looking at it. I think you are.
You just target him.
I am targeting him.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I guess it's just a regular throw then?
Yeah, I think that's close enough. I think you're probably technically 22 and a half away or whatever, but yeah, I think that's fine.
I'll take the disadvantage if.
No, I
you
think
think,
no, I
but-
think it's fine. I think it's fine.
Okay.
Honestly, because it's kind of weird with the corners anyway, or whatever. I mean, I think it's fine.
Oh, sixes. And then it poof back into my other hand, so I'm gonna throw it again.
Okay. Offhand attack.
Yeah.
Pink.
It would have been nice if that was on the sneak attack, but okay, I'll take it.
It just bounces your damage out just a little bit, you know? Yeah.
6.
Tink. Tink.
But that second one
That-
really hurt.
I don't know
Yeah.
if that's our lowest crit ever. I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure she's actually crit once before on her offhand that was actually less than that. It's like a 1 and a 2 plus 1. I think she crit for 4 once.
It's the worst paper cut he's ever got.
All right, let's show him the light.
Yes. Embrace it.
And I'm going to do my silent speech to Izzy. So I'll just send her a whisper.
Okay. You can see Acolyte 11 kind of move around to the other side of his other companion and kind of like grabs him and drags him back up against the wall. Like realizing maybe for the first time, this Acolyte 4 is like, oh, wait a minute. This is not a drill! This is not a drill! As he gets up, you can see him try to cast a spell.
Do I know what spell it is?
It is not arcane in nature, but definitely looks like the same kind of thing, same kind of language and movements that Carr makes when he casts spells.
Can I counterspell it?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah, even if you don't know what spell he's casting, you can still cast counterspell.
Okay, I do.
Okay, and then so nothing happens. Moves a little closer. Acolyte 7 just like holds on to Acolyte 11, like kind of grabs him either with both hands. And they're just kind of, each of them are just kind of holding each other's robes, kind of huddled together. Just trying to survive what is now apparently the apocalypse.
So you guys are this might go bad. I've rolled above a 10 for initiative 3 times.
You see the cult leader, his eyes crackling with fire, as the tiefling kind of is taking this little barrage of attack. And then you see grit to his teeth as he tends to return some of the aggression. Steen, he whispers, "Be a good little boy and flee. Leave this place." I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Through means of magical suggestion, you feel as though you're compelled to run and flee. Run away.
Oh. Well.
And leave this place. So, for the next 8 hours, that will be your course of action, or until stopped.
Okay.
Whatever means this is just no good. No good. And then as and then the whip is going to come over and lash at Carr. Start of the round. Lumo's up first.
I'm going to deck him.
Okay. Right in his miserably ugly face. It's a quick little booger.
Okay. Yeah, I don't like finger wag.
Okay.
Huzzah!
Uh-huh. And he is stunned.
And I'll just do a regular flurry.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
Should I still hit him? If he's stunned?
I'd finish him off.
Alright, I'll come around to the other side here. So I'm on the other side with Lumo. And as I'm going, I'm pulling out my cutlass.
Okay.
There should be advantage applied automatically on this, right? Because he's stunned.
Yeah, it should be automatic, yeah.
Got him.
So with that, how do you want to do that?
He's stunned, just reeling from Lumo's last blow, and I run around behind him, and with my cutlass, I just go right through the chest. And it bursts through on the other side. Already red, but now dripping.
He's gonna gargle a little bit. He's just gonna slide forward, sliding off the blade, and then crumpling into the floor at the foot of the bed. And with that, Steen, you no longer feel the need to flee and run in fear.
Oh, thank God, because that was smart.
Yeah. I was worried about that.
I was grabbing my torch on the way out too, so I mean, I'd be taking Lumo's light source.
As an RP thing, at the end of my turn, can I just leave the cutlass kind of in him, and then with my free hand, then if I can, I want to roll up my sleeve and say something to the acolytes that are
Okay.
still fighting.
Sure.
So I roll up my sleeve and unwind the cloth that is wrapped around it there, and I hold it up, and you can see a really ugly brand mark on it. And I address the acolyte and say, I know what it is to have a second chance, and you can have that if you choose a side of the light. Choose freedom, or we will have to kill you.
Yeah, because if not, I have not got to hit anybody with this sword yet.
Okay, so compelling argument, but I'm still gonna have. So go ahead and roll a persuasion. But even with a compelling argument, since they are ingrained in hostile, I still have to make it with a disadvantage. Still
Not a
quite
great
good.
roll, but I do have a plus 12, so
Student
just
is
as
becoming the teacher.
a character note, you guys have never seen this mark on Izzy. She's never unwrapped her sleeve at all.
Okay.
Acolyte 8 just kind of looks around. He looks over at the corpse. And then, like, looks at everyone. Looks at, like, sees the golden whip fade. And just goes, ah! And takes off running. Full sprint.
Stop him! Somebody stop him!
You see, he just drops his knife, just takes off full sprint, like, oh my god!
Do our buddies get attack of opportunity when he runs past?
I don't think they would take it, because they are
Okay.
protecting each other and he is not threatening them.
Okay, that's fair.
So Acolyte 11 is going to cast Sanctuary on the other one. Car.
Why do I ever put myself on half blocks? Fine up there. I can't hit them, right?
I'm okay with half blocks.
Okay. Because I want to hit somebody. Lightning, thunder. I mean, this was a pretty big spectacle for a sword strike.
A little bit of overkill. Why'd you hit him with Zeus's lightning? Oh, just 'cause I could.
First time using it with the lightning buff.
Nice.
I didn't feel a little bad for these guys, but we can't sacrifice the safety of the party for one guy running out screaming.
They chose death. What does that look like? Does it like crackle down the sword?
Yeah, car.
Yes. I'm always going to say yes. The dungeon master says no. Well, yeah, he did mention I felt a bit of kind of the crackling and power with it. So
Yeah,
I'd like to think that
when you pull it, It's almost like, you know, a pitch black room where like you have blankets that are just completely full of static, and if you pull them apart, you can see the sparks, that light, that little flicker of light. So it's not like lightning actually shooting down the blade, or I mean, it's not a full-on like crazy lightning sword, but there is definitely a lot of charged energy, and it's like little flickers of like little sparks more than.
I'm like a little Thor Vader.
Ooh, Acolyte 7 likes Sanctuary. So he's gonna give it to his friend. They just huddle together.
7-Eleven is working together.
Four still hasn't said anything, but he's still just kind of looking there, stunned.
He doesn't seem convinced. And I get right up in his face, like, "What are you gonna do?" And then roll intimidation.
Okay.
Intimidate him to be on our side. Yeah. Very intimidating.
He's just still standing there, like, even though you're kind of blocking his view from what he was staring at. This is like the 1,000-yard stare now, where he's just staring off into space. He's basically like Archer when he's just sitting most of the time.
He's just like, ugh. And enter.
So what's Miss Bijou gonna do?
Isn't Acolyte 8 dead?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I just wanted to make sure before I decided.
Yeah, I didn't...
Because Carr ate him.
I'm going to cast Suggestion on Acolyte 4 with my hand cone.
Okay.
So it'll be, it says 15, so that makes it 16.
That's right. Okay, what are we suggesting?
And I'm going to suggest that he stands still and just leave us alone.
Oh yeah, his dull 1,000-yard stare is now like where he was kind of nervous, twitchy, like, you know, not like almost maybe in shock. Now it's just okay. It's just very stiff.
And I tell Steen that he's not going to move as long as he doesn't touch him.
Oh, okay.
I pull my sword out of the tiefling's back.
Mm.
And kind of wipe it off on his clothes. And then
Getting
I'm
blood in
gonna
his
walk.
eyes.
Huh?
Instead of getting blood in his eyes.
Well, he can't see through them anymore anyway.
When you pull the sword all the way out, you can see the robe that has all these little eyes. You can see the eyes still moving independently all around on this little robe that he's got. You can also see when you pull it out, the cut that you made through it seals over and then is replaced by a large eye.
Ooh. I'm gonna throw a blanket over that because it's freaking me out. I just grab one off the nearby bed and just like, ugh. I'm just gonna kind of walk over to this acolyte, just kind of looking at him. Like, can I do like an insight on it? Ooh, can I do, what was that? Empathic thing, and do like an insight check on him?
I'm trying to remember what thing are we talking about?
You possess keen insight into how other people think and feel. You gain proficiency in insight. You can use your action to try to get uncanny insight about one humanoid you can see within 30 feet of you.
Oh yeah, that was the bonus feat that you were given for your. Okay. I was like, I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of looking. I just walk up to him and kind of studying him. I have to make an insight check contested by his deception check.
Okay, go ahead.
Or charisma. Yeah, not great. Just trying to see if I can get an idea of what he was thinking with that 1,000-yard stare. If he's just frozen, like not sure what to do, or if I can even tell anything through the suggestion spell at this point.
Yeah. So it's not really. There's not a lot going on to read. Your first instincts were perhaps battle shock, or just shock in general. And then now that the suggestion's there, it's he's just rigid and unable to move, unable to get enough to read on, I guess, to get a good idea as far as loyalty or any of that kind of stuff. What his thoughts are.
Right. Okay. The other thing I say is, Car, you may want to take a look at that guy's weird robe. It's all eyes.
Yeah.
Or maybe Bijou. I don't know what it is.
This guy's gonna cast Bliss. And Carr and him and his partner they're all buffed up.
Just let them know that I know what Sanctuary is, but while none of us are safe here, you have no reason to fear us. Walk around. We're still in initiative, so I guess I can only make it to about here.
So yeah, just kind of thinking about what we probably are at the point now where we can just kind of say we're dropped out of initiative at this point. So kind of decide what we want to do.
Oh, if that's the case, yeah, I would like to check out that robe, and if I know if I have any insight in that, because it's without knowing anything about it, I would just recommend that we need to get rid of it. All those eyes can't be good. But do I make a religion check or anything? Is it
let's see, let me see. I mean, you can make a religion check to see if this thing is, like something cult related, or is this like a ceremonial weird something along those lines. And you're pretty well versed with the hells. You've gotten really good religion rolls on most of the stuff that we have rolled on when it comes to relating to the hells. This doesn't seem like anything related to the actual cult itself. It's probably something arcane in nature. The best you can tell.
PG, do you have are you proficient in Arcana?
Yeah.
What do you think of this robe? It's not religious, but I feel it's magical. Arcane.
It's really creepy.
Yes, it is.
Do I think anything else?
I mean, without getting to see the actual auras at this point, like as far as knowing I mean, there's a lot of parallels in arcane magic with eyes and seeing, so it could be it could be like you muse that it could be something that could be like a spy cam kind of situation, or it could be something like something that actually aided the wearer with their vision and perception and abilities, or
Not enough to find a key though.
could be perception, maybe not investigation, right? Who knows?
Can't see what's not there either.
Yeah, the other possibility is, could be, especially when you think about Arcana as it relates to natural things like the Beholder and certain eyes, all can have different powers that are associated with them, usually rays in that regard. But without actually being able to see the magic properties, that's your best guesses.
I think we should just get rid of it. No matter what it is, it's not good for us.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Is this right here? Is this like a chest?
It's more like a dresser, like a regular dresser versus there's a couple along the edges.
I just want to
giant like armoire mega dressers.
I just want to throw it in something and shut it up where
It
would see nothing but darkness if it's seen.
Izzy's busy tying this guy up with rope, but when she hears you guys arguing about this, she'll say, "We could put it in Lumo's bag and then figure it out later."
I don't know that it's wise to take it with us.
Oh,
Isn't
do we
it
have a
like-
bag of holding? I forgot.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I'm okay with throwing it in the bag of holding.
Yeah, because the bag of holding is technically like not where we are, right? It's an astral
extra
plane
dimension-
or pocket
yeah,
plane or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely extra dimensional space.
So we could just keep it in there until we find somebody who knows what to do with it. Yeah, so I'm tying this guy up.
Okay.
And I want to ask Bijou, is it possible to drop the spell if we're confident that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's not going to be able to run?
Oh yeah, you ready?
I call for Lumo to come over here. While they're doing that, I just look to the acolytes. It's like, do you know anyone here who looks like him?
He's kind of hesitant to respond at first, but
I put away my sword and stuff.
I have seen his kind. They tend to come and go. I don't think there are any now. They tend to come and give orders and then leave.
Orders to you?
Oh no, not to me. And then he kind of nudges, like kind of cocks his head off to the side. More like to those like him. This is kind of pointing off towards where the direction where the leader was at.
I hear these guys talking. I'm gonna leave him tied up, and then I'm gonna come over to where they are. I'm not gonna say anything, but I'm gonna take out some rations and start sharing them with these guys because they looked really skinny. I'm just gonna sit down beside them.
Yeah, so you give them each a bit of food to eat on, and they each just dominate this food as they are just they are beyond starved. They are somewhat emaciated, and as you've gotten much closer inspection, they're probably barely fed at all for months.
Oh,
The
I'll give
minimum
them.
needed to keep them alive.
I'll give them some. Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I'll give them some water. No, give them a chance to chew and drink and all that, and ask what type of orders do they give to someone like him?
Sometimes they bring one of their kind and give them over and bound. And they're bound, and they tell them that they think this is the one. They failed. Several times they failed. Always seem angry. Sometimes they bring supplies, and they tell them where the bad things are happening. Ways to stay hidden from the phalanx as they run around, ever searching. But that's all I know.
What can you tell us about this place?
It's a shrine
To Asmodeus?
to the Lord Asmodeus, for he comes.
I look at them meaningfully. And I say, he comes, and we will fight him, and we will win.
Sorry to interject, but what was he looking for?
They were looking for a key. Is that what you mean?
A key.
Yes.
What was the key for?
It's a magical key that unlocks the ritual room.
They can't get in right now?
No, the leader was looking for a way in. Something happened. And well, second here, just trying to think of what I'd name something.
Izzy, you said you have that rod, right? You
Yep.
wanna, if it's a magical key.
Oh, detect magic? Yeah, that will.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you can find it.
I would need some time to sit with it.
Okay, so I was gonna say, something had happened, and when it did, there were some people in the chapel room. The door closed, and the seal of his lord came on the door. The key's not for that door, but ever since whatever happened, there's been a barrier on the door, and we can't open it. The door to the main ritual room closed as well, and the ritual room is the one that the key goes to. It's a door of bone.
Does something behind the door of bone let you into the door of brass? Or bronze? Was it brass or bronze? Something like that.
I think it was bronze. Because it was darker. Yeah, I think it's bronze. Yeah, so behind the door, behind the door with the seal of our Lord was just the chapel. Room of rituals and prayers. Behind the one of bone is the actual altar and ritual room. That is sealed, requiring the magical key.
And who did they think took it? Or, no, this was the one I had been talking to. Who did you think took it? The mist creature?
The creature.
Do you
I
know
think
where
it's taken everything else.
Do you know where this creature is?
He's just gonna kind of shake his head. Could be anywhere. I see it all the places. It's always hidden. You just get a glimpse like a peripheral. You never see it. And when what you think you see just doesn't make sense. Because it changes. And it's hidden in under and inside of and between places.
Do you think this thing is an enemy to Asmodeus?
I don't know.
Can I ask him to describe it to Carr? Carr knows. Carr's the person that I think of as knowing everything. So, so I ask him to describe it to Carr and see if maybe Carr might know something about what it is.
I mean, okay, so he's talked about it being, something the Emperor made. He thinks it's something that transformed something else, maybe one of the more powerful ghouls, into something else. That's it. That was his guess. And he's talked about, it being somewhat amorphous, and the like.
Oh man.
Can I? I have to say it first, don't I? Yeah.
I think, if I don't think this is something old. This doesn't sound like something old. It sounds like something new. Something that they're experimenting to make. Not the other way around.
Who else is here? I asked the acolytes.
There are several other leaders. Sometimes there are some very powerful beings. We're not allowed to look at them.
I pull out the crown. Besides this guy, who else is here?
See it like eyes kind of like some is that the Emperor's crown?
I'll take both their hands and to say, you made the right choice. We dealt with him already.
And like now they're just like almost dumbstruck, like awestruck. They, the Emperor was once one of them. One of those. Well, I think they're wizards. But they certainly look the part. But we're not allowed to look at them. Let's keep our eyes down when they're near. Sometimes they come and go.
One of 9? I think it was 9, by the way.
I don't know how many there are. I don't know that I've seen 9. Usually it's just a couple. Those, like the Emperor, they took one and you can see his hand kind of one like him. He went into the ritual room and out. One of the wizards and one like him went in, and the Emperor came out.
Are they pointing at like the
No, they're pointing at
leader?
Lumo.
Oh, at Lumo. So a wizard and a halfling went in, and the Emperor came out. Is that what he's saying?
That's what it sounds like.
I just look at Lumo like wide-eyed. And the halfling went in willingly, or no?
You see him kind of tense up a minute, and he kind of grabs your arm, and then he just kind of touches the underside of your arm where you showed the slave brand a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just shakes his head.
Not willingly.
And then the ones that give orders that are like him, they bring in some of their own, and they never come out.
Lumo, your people have traitors in their midst.
Is there any other information you can give us about my people? And I'm going to go like nose to nose.
Are you
I'm
tall
still
enough?
I'm still holding his hand, and I'm like, it's okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's all of your people, or if it's some of your people, or I don't know if it's the same ones that come every time.
Do they ever say their names, or do you know anything about their faces? Maybe Lumo knows. No?
No. We're not when they or the wizards come. We're not allowed to look at them. They keep us locked away or bowed in reverence.
Where do they come in from? Do they come in the small tunnel?
Small tunnel?
Yeah, back out in the main hall, there's a very small tunnel that probably our friend Lumo here would fit through, but not someone our size very well.
Oh, the crack in the wall?
Yeah. Is that ever used by them?
I don't think so. I don't see anybody ever go in there. I didn't think people could really just fit in there.
Suppose a mist could.
That's a good point. I'm gonna ask him very generally to sort of tell us about the layout of the place, like what direction the bone door is in, and if there are other rooms with other acolytes or anything like that.
Well, if you have that, and he's kind of pointing at the crown. You've seen the ghoul pins. This main cavern has one, and there's a bunch of other little bitty caverns that aren't connected to this one that are from the other crags that have a bunch of similar ghoul pins. But this is the one the Emperor is in. There's the Barracks. And we have there's the chapel. There's a storeroom.
Is this the barracks here?
This is the barracks. Most of the cult leaders sleep in the nice beds. And they watch over us. And
So there are 5 more cult leaders somewhere, is that right?
They're not always full, but sometimes they are.
Are there any other acolytes here?
I don't know if there's any left. There were some in the chapel when it was sealed. The screams from the other side, I don't know if there's any left. I don't know what they did.
I'm gonna search these dressers and chests laying around.
Okay.
Check the body while you're down there.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll check the body too. Do you want 2 different rolls for that, or?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Lumo, if we could take a short rest, Izzy could learn to use that rod. She could possibly find the key. And although I'm not necessarily sure, Lumo, I want you in that room where they take people of your kind and they disappear, but we could find a clue to what's happening.
Yes, started tuning to that thing now.
You seem kind of the guy's still like trying to describe best that he knows kind of what's going on, like the rest of it. We're not allowed in the ritual room past the bone door. But I don't know, or past the rooms. There's the main storeroom. And then there's a door there that leads on. It's just a regular door, but we're not allowed to go past that one. Only the leaders, they go in there. I think they meet in there. I don't know what's beyond that. And then there's the well room. I never thought I would see running water in the middle of a desert. But just beyond the barracks, there's a room where water collects, pours from a hole in the wall. I don't know what's past the crack. Or past the doors that I'm not allowed to go.
Okay. Thank you for sharing what you know. I'm gonna pass him a couple more rations, and I'm going to just while I'm getting set up, I'm just gonna have like more casual chat with them, ask them their names, things like that, and then I'm gonna kind of settle in and try to attune to this minor rod of alertness.
Okay.
And I am going to try to attune to this robe of eyes.
I thought we put that in the bag. Did we
Oh,
not
did
put
we?
that in the
Oh,
bag?
I'm reading the description though. I kind of wish somebody would have just threw it on because that's
Yeah.
neat.
Oh, I thought. Okay, I was confused.
We were worried about it being a having Wi-Fi, NSA enabled.
Hey, can you drag the image of the Robovice on the chat so I can look at it too?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, there's an image for it. Will it work? That's a question. Wow, that's kind of cool.
Oh, that's so
Pretty
freaky
cute.
looking.
You know what? You could design that right now and probably sell it for $120. People would buy it.
As far as NSA Wi-Fi enabled, that is still unknown. But
Yeah, I mean it's probably safer to just throw it in there for now.
but with the meta knowledge, it's got some pretty interesting effects.
Yes. I guess I'm going to start tuning to the crown. Sure, that's gonna make an impact on people in here.
Trauma. So the robe's in the back. All right. Well, I guess someone drag it from the inventory and put it where it's gotta go.
All right, and then we're gonna sit and rest and attune. So let's go ahead and let's do a short rest and then take our break, and then come back at. Oh, see, it's 4:32.
Do we get increased rolls on hit dice when you're Biju? Is that a thing?
If she plays her song, you get an additional. If she uses one of her, was it Bardic Inspirations to do it? I can't remember exactly, but when she plays her song for while you guys rest, you get one additional D, whatever her Bardic Inspiration dice is. I think. So it doesn't add bonus to each individual roll. It just gets, if you roll any, you get one additional die based on whatever her inspiration die is. Methinks.
Yeah, I can play a little song of rest. And you gain an extra D6 extra hit points at the end of the rest.
And then, are you guys ninth level, or is that next level?
We're ninth.
We're
right
ninth.
Okay, yeah. So now that you are ninth, it does boost.
Oh
up
yeah,
to
to 1d8.
Boost up to a D8.
Oh man, the D8 was lower than my D6 roll.
Take the 5. Take the 5. Yeah. So anytime you use a dice, you can then. So you have to use at least one in order to be able to add the D8.
I play a pretty song.
Is it epic sounding as the music we got going in the background right now? Because I like that.
It's very good music.
Did you set a time you want us back?
No, I was going to ask to see if there was any other questions or anything before we went ahead and officially did it.
Oh, nice. That put me exactly at what I needed.
I was thinking I would maybe suggest to the two acolytes that are with us to maybe they could talk to Acolyte 4 or look after him.
And so we have, we asked earlier, but I wasn't 100% sure. Did we cancel the suggestion spell? I think I missed that.
Yeah.
We hadn't yet. We mentioned it, and then,
I said whenever we're ready, I can drop it.
yeah, but we never gave the
Oh,
go
I thought
ahead
we
on
did
that
it.
yet.
Would that be something you would do before or after, or like, is it something you do before the rest? Is the thing that I would just.
He's tied up at the moment. So I don't think he's a flight risk. You guys, I guess, do what you want with him, but if he doesn't choose our side, Izzy's gonna kill him.
I probably would just leave him with suggestion on him until after the rest.
How long does suggestion last?
8 hours.
8 hours.
As long
Oh,
as you're
okay.
concentrating. The thing is I think if you're concentrating, you can't rest. I don't know.
Oh.
Actually, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know what the rules are for that, honestly. I don't know if concentrating
Maybe
on
for a
spells...
long rest, no, but for a short rest, you're just kind of taking her easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think for a short rest it'd be fine. Okay, well then, let me throw that out there. Alright, so let's go ahead and, let's just go ahead and make it on the hour, 25 minutes. That way we can get a bite, eat some pizza or whatever's gotta happen.
Okay, sounds
and then
good.
we'll pick it up from there and see where we go from, see what happens the rest of the time we got.
Okay, cool.
Is there any particular stop time we have to meet by,